What is the worst you guys have ever felt when you've been at work or just in general? You know, when you just felt like absolute shit, but you had to power through and keep going past what you were doing. Right? You know, let's say you just had a really hard night the night before, but you had to go to work the next morning and you can't call in sick because obviously it's work. So you try to go in and it just sucks because you're hurting that badly. Like that's happened to me once when I was like 18. Oh no, how old was I? I was like 16, 17. I had to go to work. I was working at McDonald's at the time and I was 16. I partied really, really hard the past like 2 days. I was at Veld and it was just rough, man. Was I at Veld? No, I wasn't at Veld. I was just partying randomly. It was just a really, really bad time. You were sick? I was sick for a bit, ladies, man. Not anymore though. Now I'm blessed. Tonsillitis and faded on the train from the theater. Like, you fainted. That's actually insane. I don't think I've ever actually fainted. Actually, that's a lie. I have fainted. It's not a good feeling. And that's on the way to work too. Did you call in sick after? Or did you just try to tough it out? So I had a really, really rough night the night before, right? Drinking, smoking, doing a little bit of, you know, illegal narcotics. And I was younger, this or whatever. I went into work the next morning at this McDonald's, right? I thought it was gonna be set, dude. Like I'm working with one of my best friends at the time, working with a boss who's a friend of mine from school. So we're all chilling and we smoked up a little bit before we went into work. It's like, fuck it, man. Let's just have a good time, right? Because like, yo, we all know each other. It's gonna be easy, no problem. Bro, I broke the drink machine. I dropped a tub of sugar on the ground and I was working cashier, man. I'm trying to speak to all these customers and I'm like, man, this is not going well. And I just felt so sick, man. I felt unwell, but I couldn't go home because I was there and my eyes were just bloodshot and I was tired from the night before. I had like 3 hours of sleep. It was just a really, really bad time, man. It's funny because I'm in there. I remember being in the McDonald's, man. I'm looking at people as they come in and I'm always watching the door. I'm looking at the door and I'm just thinking, man, like, yo, please nobody come in through that freaking door right now, dude, because I don't want to deal with anybody. And we had, I swear to God, bro, the busiest day I ever experienced at McDonald's on that one day. I hated it, bro. I hated it. That's good, dude. Glad to hear. Shit, I was wondering where you were. I was gone for about a week and then Mina flew back to Turkey. So I was spending some time with her before she went back home as well. So I really just wasn't home. But then when I did get back home, I was feeling like shit for a little while too. But now we're back to being 100%, which is the main juice. And I'm just grateful for that. Health is so important. And I hate it when I'm not healthy, man. That's why I try to keep up with the gym, because when I'm not in shape and I'm eating like shit, it makes such a big difference in how I feel, how my energy is, everything. So I gotta keep up with it. I got off when I got up, everyone was around me. I took the next one back home. That's good then. That's good then. I feel like some people would just try to be a hero and be like, oh, you know, I passed out on the train, but I'm gonna still go to work because I gotta make my money. It's like, nah, man, health first always. When I was a freshman in college, I went to a class in the morning, went back to my dorm for a nap, and when I tried to get up from my next class, I collapsed and they took me to the school doctor. Get a stomach virus. Fuck, bro, passing out from a stomach virus, that shit must have felt terrible. Was it pain or was it just like you randomly passed out? Yeah, a lot of people take for granted their health, yo. I always get reminded of this when I see someone who, let's say they're missing a limb, or, you know, even COVID right now, dude, people getting sick by COVID, and like, it's not like you go back to being normal after you're sick. There's a lot of times when you can get sick so badly that you're never the same afterwards. You get really sick and then you can't breathe the same, or one of your lungs don't work the same. Just like getting injured, you get hurt physically. Your shoulder doesn't work the same as it did before, or you tear a muscle and that muscle doesn't ever recover back to 100%. All these little things. Yo, you got to take care of yourself, man. Like, life is long, but it can also be very short at the same time too. I was so hungover my first day of college, I had to leave class to throw up. Bro, I hate throwing up so much, man. It's literally the most uncomfortable thing I think someone can experience. Actually, no, that's a lie. The most uncomfortable thing I've ever experienced is having explosive diarrhea and throwing up at the same exact time. Like, it sounds terrible and it felt even worse. Like, it was painful, man. I was so sick, dude. I don't know if it was food poisoning or what, but I was so sick, bro. There's some kind of virus just going around the house with my parents and I. My legs just gave away. Like, I was unable to stand up. It was scary. Yeah, I would be scared too, man. When it comes to viruses and being sick like that, it's something that you can't physically see. And it's not like you can physically fight back against it. It's like, it's just your body and the antibodies inside of you that are doing everything. It's like, because you can't see it, it's like, you can try to be strong and hold true, but your body just might not be able to fight against it. And I know for me, my mind is always running crazy, going like, oh, what if I'm about to die? Like, oh, what if this is it? Stupid shit like that. Stomach virus is no joke. Take care of yourself in your 20s. I'm 33 and I get sharp pains in my knees when squatting. Yeah, dude, I'm really trying to work on, like, I'm 27. It's crazy. I'm gonna be 33 one day. You're only 6 years older than me. But I look at you and I'm like, oh, ecstasy. I'm like, oh, I'm like, yo, he's a dad. And it's like, I'm getting up there. I gotta make sure I warm up and take care of myself. And that's another thing too with my binge eating, that I gotta stop doing that. Because even when I was younger, it was the same thing. When I was younger, I would have these binges, man, where for like fucking a week, 2 weeks, I would just eat terribly and just lose all this progress that I've made in the gym. You know, body fat, muscle, because I would just go so freaking hard with regards to, it's like I would try to eat terribly. Because I'm like, oh, I've gone this far. I may as well just eat this whole fucking cake or just go this stupid with something. But then it won't just be that one day. I'll do it for like 4 days after. And then I'm like, damn, I just lost like 2 months of progress. Now I gotta go do all this bullshit again and get back to where I was. And it messes up my metabolism and everything too. Any scrolls for me I can take? Yes. Jesus. Ooh. Ah, there's so much fire. Old people burning, old people burning. Hold on, hold on, hold on. Legendary belt, oh baby. Legendary toxic, oh baby. Spirit, oh baby. Oh, you gotta die, bro. But that hurt, didn't it? All right, I'm gonna hit him a couple more times. It's like target practice. Oh, you got him. Back in March, I was down to 215, 13, 14% body fat. Then my entire lifestyle got flipped upside down and I gave in to my temptation. That's where that consistency comes in. And it's damage control, right? I totally feel you on the temptations thing. Like, it happens to me and everybody. Like, even people when they go compete bodybuilding competitions, right? Like, you're gonna put in all this time to get super shredded, and then one day after you just fuck it all up. That happened to me when I was modeling, dude. I would get super lean for a shoot, and then right after the shoot, I would just go straight to eating like 12 Krispy Kreme donuts, and then having the whole like chocolate milk and all this. It's just the worst things for my body. And then I'm like, fuck, dude, I just lost like all this progress. My abs are gone. I gotta get lean again. It's like crash dieting almost, except I know what I'm doing and I'm just doing it anyway, which sucks because I can be consistent, but I always at some point I lose my shit and I just go crazy instead of just eating in moderation. Boots? Ooh. Gimme. I got legendary boots and a legendary amulet. What up, bro? You gotta die. Whoa, that's a big dragon fire. Ow. Fuck. Oh, this is chaos, man. I can't see anything. What's the one thing you guys just like, if it's in front of you, you can't say no? Like, for me, that's cheesecake, bro. I ate that entire salted caramel cheesecake my girlfriend got for me in less than 24 hours. And that was probably worth weeks of calories, man. Same for you, Shins. Cheesecake. Oh man, yeah, cheesecake is just so good, dude. Like, if you plop a good cheesecake in front of me, unless I had something really important the next day, probably try to not eat it. But it'd be really hard not to, man. Just because I love it so much. That's the worst part of it. I'd really try to not eat it because I love it so much, man.